The sharp staccato of Elena's heels reverberated against the pristine marble of Spago's private bathroom as she leaned against the sink, trying to steady her breath. The triumphant smile she'd worn moments ago had vanished the instant she rounded the corner. Seeing Ivy's face, that look of raw devastation, hadn't been part of her plan. Not really. But the distinctive click of the bathroom door locking behind her made her blood run cold. She whirled around to find Logan standing there, his broad frame blocking the exit. "Are you actually insane?" she hissed, ice masking the tremor in her voice. "This is the women's bathroom. What's next? Going to chase me into a confessional?" But Logan's expression was unguarded, raw in a way that made her heart skip for reasons she refused to acknowledge. She hadn't seen that look since the early days, before everything imploded. "You knew she'd be here," he said quietly, but there was a question in his voice. Elena laughed, sharp and brittle. "Contrary to what you might think, I don't actually orchestrate every disaster in your life. Ivy showing up was just..." She gestured with one hand, fighting to maintain her composure. "Terrible timing. For both of us. She was meeting Liv and Elle for dinner." His tone was softer than she expected. "When she saw us, and now the two biggest gossips on the cast, plus my show's host, just witnessed that little scene." Elena cut him off, folding her arms. Her designer bracelet felt too tight, but she wouldn't give him the satisfaction of seeing her uncomfortable. Sometimes the universe really does have a sick sense of humor. Now, get out of my way before someone calls security on the creep in the women's bathroom. She bolted towards the door, but Logan blocked her exit. "That doesn't matter right now." Logan stepped closer to her, the usual arrogance in his demeanor crumbling. "I've been thinking about everything. About us. About what I've done. I made mistakes, Elena. Big ones. And I want a second chance." His voice carried an unfamiliar vulnerability. She scoffed, though the sincerity in his voice caught her off guard. "A second chance for what? To play the perfect husband? To control me again? In case you've forgotten, you're engaged to another woman. I think our relationship is past second chances." Logan's jaw tightened, but instead of lashing back, he sighed. "I know our relationship is done, but maybe we can reinvent what we are to each other." Elena's mind whirled as she looked at the man standing before her. This was not the Logan Bennett she divorced. Hell, it wasn't even the man she married. Logan continued, "I want to be better. To be the father I never had." For the first time since their divorce, Elena saw a crack in Logan's armor. The practice mask he wore in boardrooms and interviews was gone, replaced by something that almost resembled regret. It confused her and made her stomach twist in ways she hated. Was this real? Or just another ploy to get under her skin? Her voice wavered despite her best efforts to sound detached. "Why now, Logan? Why are you saying this now?" His face darkened. "Because I can't ignore the way you're trying to destroy me. All this talk about other potential fathers, you're lying to mess with me, to hurt my name and my business." And just like that, the moment shattered. Elena glared at him, her composure snapping back into place. "I see. You don't want a second chance, Logan. You want a rebrand." Suddenly, they both froze, interrupted by muffled voices in the hallway. Elena knew exactly who was coming. Liv and Elle, moments away from pushing open the bathroom door. Logan moved quickly. "In here," he whispered, pulling Elena toward the nearest stall. She hissed in protest but relented, finding herself trapped between the cold marble wall and Logan himself. His familiar cologne, the same scent she'd given him for his birthday last year, tickled her nose. The unwanted reminder of their past sent a jolt through her, her breath hitching as Logan's proximity stirred old memories she didn't want to confront. Elena, he murmured, his voice low. Don't, she whispered sharply, cutting him off as the door creaked open. Liv's voice carried through the bathroom with the deliberate tone of someone who didn't care if she was overheard. I'm telling you, Elle, Elena is definitely pregnant. I saw the signs myself, skipping the coffee, picking at her food, disappearing during shoots, and the bathroom thing this morning, classic. Elena cringed at the very thought that her secret was so close to being discovered. She could feel Logan's stare burning into her, but she refused to meet his gaze. Elle's voice came next, doubtful but curious. Elena's pregnant? Are you sure? Elena's pregnant? The two women paused as their heads whipped around to find Ivy standing at the threshold of the bathroom, her jaw hanging in disbelief. Elena's heart sank. Logan's entire body went rigid beside her. Liv's voice dropped, conspiratorial, as she turned to Ivy. I know. It's absolutely delish, right? Elle doubled down, stoking the flames of the gossip. But who's the unlucky father? Ivy tried to regain her calm demeanor, but her mind was spiraling. Liv and Elle had no idea of the sordid past shared by Elena and Logan, but Ivy did. And she knew if Elena Drake was pregnant, Logan Bennett was most certainly the father. I think it's James Chen. A devilish grin spread on Liv's face. Elle gasped dramatically. What? No. Liv lowered her voice further. I saw them, Elle, just the other day. They were having a private lunch and looked very cozy. And do you know what James gave her? What? A blank check. A literal blank check. Can you imagine? He handed it to her like it was nothing. No man does that unless he's, Elle gasped. Oh, he's definitely the father. Logan turned his head toward Elena, his expression unreadable in the dim light filtering through the stall. His usual confidence was gone, replaced by something raw and uncertain. For the first time, the threats Elena had made about the baby not being his seemed real to him. Elena tried to hold her composure, but the tight space and his intense gaze made it impossible to breathe. She felt trapped in more ways than one. Ivy, what do you think? Liv turned towards Ivy, expecting her friend to revel in the juicy tea being spilled. But instead, Ivy looked as if she might be sick. Are you okay? Elle eyed her, concerned. Yeah, I'm fine. Ivy tried to play it cool. I'm pretty sure our entrees are getting cold. Let's go. The bathroom was silent now, save for the faint hum of the ventilation fan. Elena stood frozen, acutely aware of Logan's presence mere inches away. The space felt impossibly small. I think they're gone now. Logan's voice broke the stillness, but did nothing to quell the storm brewing between them. Good. Elena's tone was clipped as she tried to move past him. But the stall was narrow, and Logan's imposing frame made it impossible to avoid contact. As she attempted to squeeze by, his hand instinctively rose to steady her. The touch was light, brief, his fingers grazing the curve of her still flat stomach. It was the smallest of gestures, but it felt monumental. A spark of electricity coursed through her. Logan wasn't just touching her. He was cradling the unborn child inside her. She froze mid-step, her heart hammering against her ribs. I miss us. The warmth in Logan's voice tugged at something deep inside her. Elena's breath caught in her throat. For a moment, she felt herself leaning toward him. The pull, not of nostalgia. Even on their best day, Logan wasn't this intimate with her, but of unfulfilled potential. This is how she always envisioned their relationship being, drawing her nearer. Then, like a flash of lightning splitting the sky, the memories of Logan's betrayal surged forward. His abandonment during her many miscarriages, the way he always used Elena as a pawn in his grandfather's games. But the one that always hurt Elena the deepest was his affair with Ivy. You lost the right to touch me when you chose her, Elena said, her voice a strained whisper. Her hand pressed against his chest, a barrier between them. But whether she was pushing him away or pulling him closer, even she couldn't say. Her fingers trembled against the fabric of his shirt, the steady rhythm of his heartbeat betraying his outward calm. Elena. Logan's voice cracked, his hand brushing hers where it rested on his chest. No, she said firmly, her resolve hardening. She stepped back, putting the smallest amount of distance between them, though it felt like an ocean. Whatever this is, whatever you think we had, it's gone. Logan's lips parted as if to argue, but no words came. For once, he seemed at a loss. Elena took the opportunity to turn away, her heels clicking against the marble as she exited the stall without looking back. She didn't see the way Logan slumped against the wall, his hand hovering over the spot where her touch lingered, the weight of his mistakes pressing down harder than ever.